We begin with breaking news from Facebook. The social media company's Oversight board has decided not to allow former President Trump back on the platform, but they did leave the door open for him to be allowed back in the future. Facebook, Twitter, and several other companies banned Trump from their platforms after the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. I want to bring in Chief Business and Economics Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis and ABC News Political Director Rick Klein for a little bit more on this. Rebecca, we didn't get this quite right in the last hour, so I wanted to clarify this ruling a little bit. It sounds like this was kind of a mixed decision, where on the one hand, the board is saying Trump will remain suspended for now, but they also criticize the open-ended nature of the suspension, calling it a standardless penalty. So now what?
Yeah, well, Diane, in many ways, Facebook punted this decision to this board of 20 individuals that they put together, legal scholars, activists, human rights watchers, and others, a Nobel laureate among them, to make a decision about the ban of the former President Trump from their platform. And now that very board that was supposed to make a decision has punted it back to Facebook and said, you've got 6 months to take a look at this decision. Their biggest issue with it is the indefinite nature. The fact that in the moment on January 7th that Facebook, rather than saying you're either banned or you're not, Facebook said it was an indefinite ban. This is the primary issue that the board has raised. And they've also raised the issue that going forward, Facebook needs to have a policy. They cannot make decisions willy-nilly about indefinite bans or kicking people off their platform. They need to be more clear going forward, and they have 6 months to make a decision and really put this together to be more clear so that users fully understand what would and would not keep them on their platform, Diane.
And Rick, former President Trump is a huge user of social media, or he was before he was banned. So what does this mean for him going forward?
Diane, you cannot overstate the importance of Facebook in the Donald Trump political rise and his ability to continue to communicate with his followers up through his presidency. It was really the lifeblood of his campaign. I think it's fair to say he would not be president if not for Facebook. He used it for organizing. He used it for fundraising. He used it for paid advertising. And critically, he used it to get his message directly to so many of his followers who don't watch or don't read or don't trust many news sources that are out there. And being robbed of that for these last couple of months has had an impact, although you may not see it in his overall impact in the party. Facebook and Twitter, critical to his organizing, critical to his ability to get his message out. And I think Facebook in particular, this stings Trump because however he'll spin it about his ability to reach his followers through other means, he needed this this mechanism. And if he is not allowed back in, it is going to mean that he's going to have to resurrect his political career if he wants to, using other means. Just yesterday, he launched what his team called a new online portal that would allow him to get that message out. And I'll tell you, it just kind of looked like a website. And in fact, he encouraged people on that website to post to Twitter and Facebook, even though he is banned on those platforms. Just a little insight into how important they remain. And I think Facebook, even paramount above Twitter, even though he's known as the Twitter president, Facebook was a not-so-secret end around, a secret sauce that he had for his campaign in 2016.
And Rebecca, we know that the former president was banned from several other social media platforms. So could this decision have repercussions on some of those other platforms like Twitter?
You know, Diane, it's unlikely to have a specific repercussion, although I would say in a broader sense, this entire conversation is really in the nascent stages. We are looking at, and Rick laid this out so powerfully, the former president used Facebook, he used Twitter, he used all of these social media outlets to fundraise, to build ideas, to build awareness. He uses it to back other candidates. And so as a result, we have seen the power that he's had using these platforms, but really there's a power in these platforms that far exceeds what he's done with them. Think about things like Dogecoin right now. You could make a case that Dogecoin, this cryptocurrency that has now hit new record highs as of today, may not have ever even had a shot if not for the fact that people talk about it on TikTok, on Reddit, everywhere else on social media, and that combines a bunch of people to coalesce. It's a creation of a way to people come around an idea and really push something in the real world. And I think we're just still in the very early stages of this conversation about the power of social media and exactly how these platforms should be regulated, how we should be thinking of them, because they have become so much larger than what they originally were thought to be in the early days.
Rick, this also comes as the Republican Party is divided over Trump's claims about winning the election, false claims about winning the election, and the role that he played in the attack on the Capitol. So how does this decision affect his influence over the party in general?
It's a fascinating moment, Diane, because even as Trump has been robbed of his access to social media platforms, his influence inside the Republican Party is as strong as ever. And the current push that is now backed by Republican leaders in the House to remove Liz Cheney from her #3 post in leadership, the highest-ranking woman and a very famous last name in Republican politics, because she continues to maintain the truth that Donald Trump is lying about having lost the election. That she has been consistent on that point. She voted to impeach after January 6th, and it seemed for a while like in the immediate aftermath of January 6th, it was possible the Republican Party would try to dump Donald Trump. And then it looked like they would come to some kind of an agreement with people, anti-Trump Republicans like Liz Cheney, to say, okay, we will agree to disagree on this, but move forward. Now it appears that that is not possible, and that Liz Cheney is now likely to lose her leadership post. Our Catherine Falder's reporting just moments ago that President Trump has been in touch with Elise Stefanik, a congresswoman from New York, who is now being boosted by House leaders as a potential replacement for Liz Cheney. He's getting involved in that leadership race, and just moments ago he put out a statement that repeats many of the lies that he has been telling about the election, and goes on to attack both Mitch McConnell and his former Vice President Mike Pence. Again, recycling some attacks, recycling some lies and falsehoods, and in this case, tying the Republican Party to him more firmly than ever.
All right, Rebecca Jarvis and Rick Klein, interesting time. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.